All right, so this is 96 already, and we're getting started. All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Ezekiel Alabi. Just to confirm that you can hear me, can you give me a thumbs up again if you can hear me? Just thumbs up before I go ahead. Thank you very much. Okay, so the title of our session this evening is Leveraging IT or serious or strategic career growth. So we are here to have a conversation, and I believe for the fact that you clicked the link to register for this event, you see a need to work on something. From the in the form, let me see if I can quickly pull it up. In the form, I remember we asked that what were our expectations. That was our expectations. I think a number of people mentioned different things. Let me see if I can find that slide. Just a minute. So some people mentioned that okay, they wanted to learn how to deal with office politics. They want to learn how to, uh, yeah. So this is it. Like 52% of people said that okay, they want to learn how to maximize their internship experience, how to use LinkedIn strategically, how to build a personal brand, how to handle office politics, and secure a return offer. So these are a lot of expectations, and I would attempt to meet them this evening. So uh, next. So what's the real issue? We said that. Let me go back to the previous slide. We said that we want to leverage IT or skills for strategic career growth. Career growth does not happen during CUS. Career growth happens after CUS. When you are now in the industry, when you are now in the job market, when you are now making money. That's when career growth happens, right? So we are saying that you want to grow in your career, but you want to use your skills as sort of like a stepping stone to achieve that career growth that you want to see. What and in your skills, right? You're having an experience. The career growth that you want to see is sort of like a result, right? So the question we want to answer this evening of some sort is that how do you transform or translate the experience you are having in the CWS, right, on your IT? How do you translate it into results? Here this, right? The what, if you are asking yourself, what are we dealing with? There's a gap between CWS placement or IT or internships generally, like internships generally. But so it can be tailored to those who need to hear about it, especially. We called it IT or CWS thereabout. But everything you'll be learning this evening um, would encompass internships, encompass entry level roles. It is quite an aspect, just a very minute aspect. I wish I could have cleared it as leveraging internships for strategic career growth, but that might not have addressed the set of people that I felt needed this the most at this stage of their lives. So for those who are probably not going on IT very soon, but decided to still sign up for this, I think you've made a great decision. I'll try to go through them. All right. Sorry, my network went off for a few seconds. Just confirm if you can hear me again. Can you still hear me, please? Thank you very much. Okay. So I was talking about the what, the why, and the how. The what is that there's a gap between when people go for IT and the results that they see. Why does that gap exist? They don't know what to do. They don't have the knowledge of transforming that IT experience into career goals. And the how is how to create that visibility, right? So that's essentially what the flow of my presentation will be today. Uh, okay, you, you guys know this thing, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I said there's a visibility problem. It's work that is seen that can be rewarded. I used to use an analogy of some sort that if something happened in history, and maybe two people fought, all those legends, all those stories that people used to tell. Sure. I don't know if maybe they told you all those tales under the tree, blah blah blah, that all those grandmas used to tell people, or the ones you used to read about in primary school English textbooks, all those stories, and they're saying, oh, there was a great man in this village, he did so so and so, so so and so. Sometimes in the past, right, they document those things, and for some people that have religious books, most of what, or a good part of what you read, right, is like narrative story of a record of what has happened before. So now I'm pointing a problem, that there's a visibility problem. Work that is not seen cannot be rewarded. Work that is not seen cannot be rewarded. Let us use that as the first threshold that will be starting from this evening. Work that you cannot see cannot be rewarded. If you are a 200 level student, a 300 level student, a 400 level student, 500 level student, whatever level you are, and you have some certain capabilities, you have certain strengths, and there's someone somewhere who is willing to pay you to do those things that you know how to do. But that person does not know that you can do it. Maybe you are here in Nigeria in this time zone. I think we're in GMT plus one or so. The West African time. There's someone else somewhere in Australia, by the Middle East, in Europe, in US, in Canada, who wants a young person like you who has your capabilities, right? But that person does not know you. So how do you fix that problem? That person, there's a reward for you. Someone with your strength, someone with your capacity. That reward exists. But because some way, somehow, there is a gap between you and that opportunity, you are not able to access that reward. You are not able to access that reward. And that problem that we see in that sense right now is visibility. Or they don't know you. Those people don't know you. Those people that can reward you for what you can do, they don't know you. So you're working and nobody knows it. So you are not able to maximize any opportunity based on your capacity. So the notes that you see to the right, usually questions that come when you tell people to put what they do online. And just to cap here, right, the solution to this visibility problem in the professional space will usually be start on using LinkedIn. Like that's where it pitches its tent. Whatsoever entity that solves visibility problem in the professional space will usually pitch its tent on the mountain of LinkedIn. Yeah, let me say that again. The entity that solves the visibility problem in the professional space, in the professional world, pitches its tent on the LinkedIn mountain. So if you want to solve this visibility problem, you have to climb the mountain of LinkedIn. That's the story that we are trying to tell with this slide. And when you tell people to do this thing, they can say that, oh, I don't know what to post. Um, my work is not interesting. Nobody cares about what I'm doing. Or you feel like you're not good enough, right? You see, there's something I call maybe like a content code. Once you crack that code, you will most likely never lack what to post online again. I have a LinkedIn account and I have over 1,000 followers. I think I should be close to 50,000 impressions, and all this was just in 12 months, like just 12 months of using LinkedIn. And I've seen some sort of progress. I was sharing on the group chat yesterday that I've gotten two internships through LinkedIn. And shortly before I came on this session, I was thinking to myself, like, that I feel like the formula, the method that I'm going to be teaching us this evening is something you can rinse and repeat. They said the first time is a mistake, the second time is a coincidence, by the third time it has become an habit, or let me say it has become a pattern, it has become a formula that can work, right? It's something you can rinse and repeat, rinse and rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It will continue to produce results for you. So this evening, we'll be looking at a number of ways by which we can bridge this visibility gap. If you don't know what to post, I'm here to tell you this evening that you are the story to be told with your post. You yourself, you are the thing to be posted. I think that sounds a little bit cringe. But when you know that you are trying to curate a story about, we'll get to the slides that talks about personal branding. Let me not get ahead of myself. But sometimes you feel like, oh, your work is not interesting. Maybe you are the one that what's the word? The work might not always be interesting. Like you see that the answer here, like, is not that your work is actually interesting. The work might not be interesting, but it is the responsibility. If I want to use English, I'll say that the onus is upon you, right, to tell your story in a way that people that are outside the organization, people that are outside your little bubble of this world, will still be able to see this work that you do and count it as valuable. As long as it's an organization and it was worthy enough for you to go and do your internship at your IP at your CWES at, it counts to be posted at work. You will see. I think something's happened. I hope I remember to share a particular story of one of the content that I posted on my LinkedIn, and so just some very generic stuff that happened in the office. Then you might think that okay, nobody cares about what you are doing. I believe that everybody has their unique input, their unique personality, their unique abilities, and even if 5,000 people are doing the same thing, the way you will do what you are doing is what will make you stand out from the rest of everybody else, from the rest of the 5,000. All right, let's go ahead to the next slide. I might have to rush to the slides so that we can have time for question and answer. Then maybe I can come back to some part of the slide. I would not want us to use more than an hour because this is a delay to the night. So, what is personal branding? Personal branding is now like an offshoot of this visibility, of the answer to this visibility problem. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. I think I saw a quote somewhere that this word or this statement was what's the word now? It was said by Jeff Bezos, right? That your personal brand or your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So you can ask yourself, right? When some people go somewhere and say, oh, you're the guy that, oh, you're the girl that this, so and so. And then some people say that, oh, something like my reputation preceded me. That reputation of some sort is that brand that you already have. That when people think about you, that people can say that, this kind of person, let me find some reason. Bumi cannot do this kind of thing. Zina cannot do this kind of thing. Because you have concocted yourself in such a way. So now this sentence beneath this is my own. So if you quote it somewhere else, do you have to add Ezekiel Alabi on that? I believe that personal branding is curating how people perceive you. I hope that English is understandable enough. You curate how people perceive you. You edit, you control, you manipulate, you what's the word again? You culture how people perceive you, how people see you, how people interact with you. This might be that okay, I'll decide to I'll I make sure that my hair is not too full every time. Okay, I'll make sure that I wear covered shoes or covered toe shoes every time. Um, I'll use a nice perfume every day. Those very little things. I will never go out with an unironed dress or something like that. You are just editing how people perceive you. And just your looks, as you can see from the four pillars that we now have in it, right? How you show up, how you dress, how you carry yourself is just one of these four pillars of personal branding. And these pillars are even dynamic, they are not exhaustive in such a way. Like this is not everything. So there's visual content from pictures. If you keep like when you are posting online, like you keep posting pictures of what's the word? Let's say you keep posting pictures of yourself outside the country. Everybody that interacts with your page, interacts with your content of some sort, will always believe that you are not based in Nigeria and you are somewhere else in another part of the world. So that's how visual content can affect you. Or if you decide that okay, all my pictures black and white. Like there's a guy on my status on my contact list who literally does that. All his pictures are in black and white. So if I see a random picture of the silhouette of somebody in black and white, I can see that this is this kind of person's kind of picture. You know. Then there's written content. You're kind of writing insights, writing reflections. Like I said, how you show up and your online presence too. So that speaks to LinkedIn and your profile activity. So let's come to how you document your journey. When you work on something, what's what's a framework to document it, especially when you want to post on LinkedIn or when you want to write it in your CV or wherever you want to put it, right? Usually when you want to make a post, there's this thing called the XYZ framework. You say what you did, that's the X, how you did it, that's the Y, and the Z is what you achieved or what it achieved. So this is just an example. What I did, I configured firewall rules for 3 servers. How did I do it? Using IP tables and our security policies. What did I achieve? Reduced unauthorized access by 40%. So before, especially when it comes to like CV writing and all. But when you are trying to get people the so what from your work, okay, I carried files, and then this also ties back to storytelling. Right? I think people don't value what you are. There was a CV I saw. Someone was sharing flyers. I think they were an ambassador of some sort of organization or campus, and they share flyers like digital flyers. Maybe they're doing some sort of finance education, something like that. So they share flyers on their status, on group chats, and the rest and stuff like that. When the person will write it in their CV, just what the person wrote, I had the person put it to something about sharing financial. I shared financial literacy information with a community of undergraduate students, leading to increased financial literacy among students and better financial decisions. If you hear it on the surface level, you will not know that it's flyer this person was sharing on their status. And to portray results. And even when you see it, right, you take it seriously. That like this person was just sharing flyers on group chat. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So strategy for LinkedIn. Strategy for LinkedIn. Crafting your strategy for LinkedIn. So there's something called a digital footprint. And this is basically just stating what the content of your activities on LinkedIn has been. What the content of your activities on LinkedIn has been for some time. Or like when people go online, what will they find about? When people go online, what will they find? What will they see? What will they come across on your on the digital on internet digital important, crafting important. You see that when you come across an entity, a person, an organization for the first time, the first thing you do is to go on Google, search for them. Then you see, okay, do they have a website? Do they have an Instagram account? Do they have a LinkedIn account, a Facebook account, or a YouTube page? Then you go out and then you go and search for anyone who wants to build something. You will have a digital footprint. So now this is just like saying that okay, LinkedIn is like a record of it. Sometimes you apply for it to attach your LinkedIn profile. When you attach your LinkedIn profile to something, you go and check your page. What will they see there? So sometimes when you're even posting, you're not posting to get followers, but you're posting such that if someone sends a connection request and you accept it today, and they scroll to the end of the account, They can see things that you have been up to over different spaces of your life. Or if you added it to your resume and someone wants to employ you, they can see things you were up to in your undergraduate days. They can see and they can see those things that boost your portfolio. So the first thing you want to do is to optimize your profile. Have a clear headline, have a professional headshot, and the professional summary, the bio of as per your intent. Post consistently. Initially, what I had here was to post 2 to 3 times a week, but the goal is to be consistent. Works already using the XYZ framework. That's what we just saw on the other side. And to make experience too small, I gave the example of the lady and group chat, and she said that she was doing financial literacy education for undergraduate people using publication. Blah, blah, blah. The third one is connect intentionally with people. So you can send connection requests if you are doing your IT or your CVS somewhere, right? You can ask people, okay, please, what's your name on LinkedIn? You can find them, you can send them connection requests. Your super. And then I want to say something. Like sometimes when you see people who are big in the industry, people who are big in your field on LinkedIn, you start to have what's the word? You start getting starstruck by their profile that you are seeing on your page, sorry, on your phone, and you don't want to send them a connection request. I wrote that they don't bite on my slide. If you send that connection request to someone with 20,000 followers, 30,000 followers, what will it cost you? Just stories of kilobytes of data, and you have sent it. And usually, sometimes, like 50% for me, the ones I've tried, like 50, half of them will accept your connection request. So send your connection request to those people, engage with them. So I would really drill down into this engagement on the next slide, so I won't go too deep into it, and tag people appropriately. So when you are shared experiences, when you're posting about shared experiences with people, you can tag your colleagues because it increases your reach. It increases your reach. It increases what the reach of your post because they would also see that someone tagged them, they'll come and take it out. And LinkedIn will see that okay, because all these people were tagged in this post, almost everybody related to them or concerned to them, connected to them, would like to see that post. So let's go to the next slide. So this is the opportunity acquisition pyramid. I can bet that you have probably never heard about this before. Maybe you have, maybe you have not. But this is my own formulation. So at the bottom of the pyramid is the passive layer, where you just see flyers on people's status and on people's LinkedIn posts, and you click on the link, you copy the link, and you apply. That's one that is passive. There's the outbound. So this outbound now, you are the one reaching out to people. Maybe you have sent people connection requests. You send them messages in their DMs or LinkedIn, or you find their emails, you message them in their emails, or you find their phone numbers, something, something, something. You are the one reaching out to them. This is when people are coming to meet you with opportunities. When people are coming to tell you that, come and speak at our event. Oh, there's this road. I saw you on LinkedIn. I think you'll be a good fit for this road. In my own little way, I think I've seen that happen like 2 or 3 times. Where because of something I've posted on my LinkedIn page, somebody starts saying that, I think you're a good fit for this. I think you're able to do this. I saw what you posted about this some time ago. And like I said in the notes beneath this, build visibility so that opportunities can find you. So that's not the goal, right? The outbound is you doing the hard work. You are doing the hard work of reaching out to people to access these opportunities. But when you create content, when you build a personal brand, like we have been saying in this previous slide, right? You now start positioning yourself. It's like investment. You are investing gradually. When you are seeing, oh my goodness, people that are posting on LinkedIn, it's not for fun. No. I don't know if you know. It's not because it's cool. Oh my goodness. Let me say that again. People that post on LinkedIn are not posting on LinkedIn for fun. They're not posting on LinkedIn because it's a cool thing to do. They're not posting on LinkedIn because they don't have other things to do. See, it's like investment. You are investing. You are sowing seeds. You are sowing seeds. This inbound. This is the end goal. This is the point. This is why you are doing those things. You are building visibility for yourself. so that opportunities can now start looking for you. People can see your post and they can be like, I know this person can do this thing. I know this person can do this thing. And they start reaching out to you. So that's the goal. Somebody who has not built any digital footprint online, someone who has not built strength, they have not built stamina, they've not built visibility for themselves. Opportunities will not look for them because people cannot see them. This ties back to the visibility gap that we spoke of at the beginning of this presentation. Let's go to the next. Yeah, gradually running out of time. All right. So reaching out the right way. My network just went off. I want to confirm you can hear me. It's just with the thumbs up. If you can see me. Thank you very much. So reaching out to people the right way. I can take a rough guess that I have never heard about this before. So please do listen very well. This might be one of the biggest things you take away from here. Like I said earlier too, I'd gotten two internships through LinkedIn. And how did I do it? I said there's a method that you can rinse and repeat. Rinse, use, repeat. Rinse, use, repeat. Rinse, use, repeat. And this is it. So sometimes if in the outbound way, right? Maybe you want to get an internship with someone or you want to work at an organization. Some people just go ahead to enter people's DMs and start asking them, oh please, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And that's not bad. You can do that. That works for some people. That works, right? But this, I think I've used this twice and it has worked for me. So when you want to, and this is not even just for internships, like I think we should get that straight. Accessing opportunities from anybody, any somebody on LinkedIn, you can use this formula for them and it will work. Let me give you 70% chance that it's gonna work. You should try this out. But sorry, Rama, do you have a question? Or do you want to say something else? All right. You have a question, right? So can you put in the chat, or was that a mistake? If it's a question, can you just indicate and you can take your question immediately. The floor is open for questions. All right.
No,
So
sir,
I'll
I
go.
don't have question.
Okay, I didn't hear you. There we go. But I think you said like you didn't have a question. All right, let me just go ahead. What most people do, like I said earlier, is they just enter people's DM and ask them for these opportunities. But this is the way I think we should go about it. This is the way I would recommend that I go about it. This is I think when I was writing my notes, I called it targeted outreach. When you see somebody that you want to, and let me tell you who is a good. I'm not saying bait. I'm not trying to beat them, but who is a good candidate for this thing? Somebody who is an industry leader in some sort of capacity. They are working at an organization that you want to work at, or they are working in a field they're interested in, and they post consistently on LinkedIn. Not necessarily post, maybe they comment on people's posts, they like people's posts, they engage on people's posts, all that consistently. If you can, and then if you are just reaching out to them for the first time, maybe you've not connected them before, you can just check when they made their last post. If it was recently, maybe like within the last 1 month. I feel like that's the most reasonable limit for somebody who is active on LinkedIn. If you find somebody that meets those three criteria I mentioned, I think oh my God, that's okay. My network went off. I believe it's back now. I believe you can get it. And this might sound a little bit generic, but it's just saying that okay, show intention, intentionally follow them. So maybe you should not do this for too many people so that I can do it effectively. I recommend a maximum of 5 people or 3 people. It's like when you want to catch, when you want to catch in the field, in the bush or something. You network is on my side in Jesus' name. I'll just get it now. Notification that this person likes a post. Ah, what's going on? If you receive notification that this person likes your post, this person likes your post, this person likes your post, and some pop up people's profile pictures. Then after that, you comment on their post. Don't just you want to catch. Usually they would usually outsource their what's it called? They usually outsource their social media to people. But like other social media, but I feel like LinkedIn, I have a strange feeling that they are the ones that handle their LinkedIn posts themselves. They check their LinkedIn connections themselves because you have to work for them. Like that's where they get opportunities, that's where they get jobs, that's where they see what's going on there. And that's the one of the second to the highest level of engagement. When you now comment on people's posts, usually they will read their comments. And let me tell you how powerful this is. If you posted something on your status and somebody said something about your status, and you see that circle icon beside what they wrote, and you have 5 messages to open in front of you, would you agree with me that you most likely open that one that said something about your status post first? If you would agree with me, can you thumbs up? Like you'll be more curious to see what that person said about what he posted on your status, even more than what other people said, right? Other posts, right? So that's how powerful comments are. They will check the comments. They will usually check the comments. So what you are trying to achieve with all of this is that you're trying to get familiar with them, or you're trying to get them to be familiar with you. So they already see your face, they already see what your profile picture looks like. They said the first time, they said the second time, perhaps they reply to your comments too once in a while. And if you align with your agenda, you can repost it. And don't just repost mindlessly. You add a comment before you now repost. So they can also see that somebody reposted it. But if it's a viral post, a lot of people might repost it and they might not get to see who reposted it or not. But yes, usually this industry people are not usually influencers like that. It's influencers that used to go viral. But yeah, so these are the 4 things I think you should do. So after you do this for a while, like now, if you are if you are aiming for internship by July, you can start doing this from around June, May, June, around April, May, June, like 2 months ahead of time. And if you are looking for internship in Abuja, let's say for example, if you are looking for internship in Abuja, you can target those professionals that work in those kind of companies that you want to work at. So once you do that again for some days, for some weeks, do that over a number of posts, beginning of all of this, so that their DM is open for you once they accept a connection request. Like you enter their DM, see the framework that I have. Of course, it's sort of professional. I've been following your work on X. I'm also working on Y, or I'm also learning Z, and I would like to. Then you make your ask and go straight to the point. Don't beat around it. If someone enter my DM now, I just say good afternoon, and you go away. When you have things that you will see what you are looking for, and you send the message after that good afternoon, and you respond to you. So don't just beat around the bush. Don't just say good afternoon and go away. So you want to make sure that okay, you have built that again across their post for some time. And you now enter their DM, you let them know that you have been following them, them a compliment. You can make reference to what done recently or an achievement that they want done recently. And then you tell them who you are, you introduce yourself properly. I'm a student at this, I do this, I'm interested in this. Please, I'd like to ask you if there's any space at your organization this summer for an internship, for this, for a job, whatever you're asking them for. This is This is how it works. If I find a better way, I'll let you know. But for now, this is the best strategy. If you want to catch opportunities on LinkedIn, this formula works. Before you get to the stage where you opportunities that start looking for you, right? This formula works. And if all the same, if you don't have time to do all this groundwork before you make your pitch, you can also, you can also go directly to their DM for the sake of time, so you don't procrastinate. So I'll be leaving this slide now. I think I'm almost at the end of this presentation. Yeah. So this is the last slide. So how opportunities actually happen, right? So this is now speaking to in-person work when you are in the office, how to make a good, strong impression and navigate office politics. So you want to make sure, so you ask questions, you take notes. I believe every typical serious student in school should have such qualities like this. But this is just to state it out. Let's call it out, right? Show up ready to learn, be inquisitive, let people know that okay, you are ready, you want to take questions, you want to ask people good questions, you want to take notes when you have to take notes, and don't make them to be repeating themselves over and over again over something they said before. Also build relationships with people. They said your network is your network. See in your office, if you can try, if you feel like that office is a nice office, that's where you want to work at, right? You can try to connect with almost everybody that is there. I think I had an experience where I was interning somewhere, and because I was connected with somebody on LinkedIn, someone that worked at the office, there was a particular day I came to the office and the person was telling me about something I posted on LinkedIn some days before that time. And I was like, that's good. So, you want to build relationships with people. I have been in a room where they literally called someone and they were asking the person is available to take a job. Like, because that person has built those relationships. So that's also what you want to do with your IT. Like, you want to build relationships with people it every day like an interview. I'm not saying you should be uptight and be stuck up in your shirt, whatever you're wearing to work, maybe your helmet, your boots. But just try to put your best foot forward every day. If you move to the right hand side from the slide, from the right half, the first one, it's still it is essentially just saying the excellent. I'm not saying you should feed yourself best of your knowledge when you are giving tasks, execute. See that okay, I can do this thing a little bit better, I can do this a little bit better. Then you do that. Then also politics, right? When people start having sides in office, maybe somebody's boss is fighting somebody's blah 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 blah. If you don't want into that side, so you just try to maintain as neutral position your progress. This thing goes back to what we said about it. I would advise that you fill your logbooks perhaps every week, or even if you are not filling the logbooks, right? Like we said earlier, taking notes. Make sure that you are documenting going on and communicating your progress. Maybe they give you work to do. There's this concept I heard of some time ago that every week, I think the person said that every week they would take stock of everything that they worked on that week, everything that they achieved that week, and they send it to their boss in an email. And they keep doing that, they keep doing that, they keep doing that every week. So much that I think there's this thing they call review. So when it's time for review, their boss already has like a line up, a lineup of all the things they've been up to while they were at work. So communicate your progress, document your progress. If you're just wanted to get water. All right, I'm back now. Sorry for the yes. So as I was saying, right, communicate your progress, document your progress. If people cannot see your progress, they cannot reward it. So I have come to the end of my presentation. Yeah. So if you have any questions, please you can just raise your hand or unmute your mic and ask your question on anything that instead, if there was something we were hoping that we touched on that we haven't, ask your question. If there was something I mentioned earlier that was not very clear, please do ask your question. Um, yeah, please, the floor is open. Don't be shy. And if you are too shy to speak, you can type it in the chat, please. Yes, Nina, please, you can go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My question relates more
Good
to the
evening.
working aspect of the IT. Especially as someone who struggles to find IT placements in my field of study, which is psychology. How do you go about navigating working in an environment where your skill set doesn't particularly fit the requirements of the job?
Uh, so if I heard you correctly, right, you're asking that how do you navigate where your current skill set don't help you meet up to the requirements of the job as you should. Am I correct?
Yes, technically, along that line, yes.
All right. All right. So I think the first thing you want to do, right, is to take a skill review. Depending on how much time you still have left, or whichever is concerned, right, still has left to fix what's going on. Maybe the IT still has some time, right? You want to take a skill review that okay, what's going on? You want to assess your skill gaps. What's going wrong? What do I need to learn? What do I need to put in place? Which capabilities do I need to acquire? Then you now find the fastest ways for you to fix that skill gap, for you to bridge that skill gap. You can do it on YouTube, you can get courses, you can ask questions in the office too. And if there are things that you can learn on the job, what you want to do now is to make sure that okay, you are putting extra effort. So maybe you could ask that, oh please, if I want to work on this better in the office, what are some things I could try my hands on, maybe at home in the evening before I come back tomorrow that can help me, address this situation better. And if it's a good office, right, if they see those skill gaps and they see that you are interested in learning, they would also be interested in teaching you or just helping you out to find your fit. So to sum my response up, you assess this skill gap that you already see, and you find the best way for you to close that gap. I hope that answers your question.
It did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did someone put a question in the chat? Does this apply to those who would love to get a remote internship with big companies abroad? Yes, I think it does. I think it does. You're still working, right? So you are generating results for whoever has employed you or whoever you are doing that internship with. So you can talk about it online, you can share about it online. You are still interacting with human beings, you are still reporting to people. So I feel like a bulk of all we've said about building your personal brand, building relationships with people, being your best, being excellent, communicating your progress, all those things, I feel like they still apply. I feel like they still apply. I'm trying to see what else could be different for someone who is on a remote internship. Now, I think it still applies. Like everything still applies. Maybe that physical part is not just there, but I feel like everything still applies. I hope I was able to answer your question. So someone else asked that how should we proceed after making a mistake at the workplace? That's an interesting question. So we are human beings, right? And we are bound to make mistakes. So it is not a failure to have made a mistake at the office. And I would like to assume I would like to assume that people in your office are not wicked people. So if you think that you made a mistake, like I used to tell myself, and I think I've told people before, that the best way to say sorry for doing something wrong is to not do that thing again. Like if you came late now and you're telling me sorry for coming late, the best sorry that you can tell me, the best apology you can give me is to not come back again. So I feel like after you've expressed your sadness about whatever has gone on, and you've communicated that to them, apologized as you can, or maybe bear the consequences as you can. Like, and you now want to, within your human power, make sure that such does not happen again. So I think that's probably one of the best ways to be proactive, to ask more questions on what they suggest to do to fit that knowledge gap. Yes, I hope that answers your question. Let's move go back to the chat again. Okay, I see a question that says, how do you advise on going on internships? Remote internships. Okay, so like I said earlier, right, I mentioned about how you reach out to people online when you want to get stuff from them. First of all, you target them seriously. So they don't necessarily have to be in Nigeria. Like the same way you would do that are bas- based in Nigeria or based around you or based where you can access physically, right? That's the same way you would do for those who are based online, those who you have to interact with remotely, right? You pitch in their DMs. I think the dynamics work pretty much the same way. I hope that answers your questions. If it doesn't, please feel free to unmute and react or send a follow-up message. Does anyone have a question again? Is there anything that is not clear? Is there anything you'd like me to touch on? Please think about your questions, think about questions. If there's anything that is not clear enough, then please just give us an heads up, right? After this call, or even during this call, I'll be sending a feedback form to us to just help us, get a better view of how this session has served your needs. If you were able to address the expectations that you had this meeting, so you'll be seeing that on the group chat in a few minutes. Please, does anyone have a question? The floor is still open. I'm just going to move to my thank you slide now because I want you to see it. But yes, we're still taking questions. Please, does anyone have a question? Okay, how would you preach or sell the idea of LinkedIn to a fellow young person? I think there's a message before that. I'll come to that. And do you advise? Okay, sorry, Chidera, I think I read your question wrongly. I think I I read, how do you advise going on remote internships? Now just reading it again, I realized that it said, do you advise on going on remote internships? Okay, let me, please, can you confirm if you can still hear me with a thumbs up? Please, can you still hear me? Yes, yes, I got your question. Thank you very much. So, yes, it depends on your course, right? If you are going to be filling logbooks and you need to have very physical stuff, maybe you're an engineering student now, and you need to be drawing diagrams in your logbook. You need to go very graphic in your logbook. I don't think a remote internship would be the best idea, right? So if it's possible, you can you can try to get a physical internship for that. So if your course does not require you to have those very graphic stuff, those very physical stuff in your logbook, then maybe you can go on remote internships. But if it does, then I don't think a remote internship would be the best idea. Let's move for the next question. Yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah, please does that answer your question? Oh yeah, computer engineering student. Oh my god. I don't think you should go on the remote internship, bro. Like you need to draw diagrams. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Like I think the A and M are going to do. But if you are not going, as I'm looking at your ID number, I'm guessing you're in 300 level now. Is it 300 or 200 level? I think you're in 200 level now, right? So I think this 200 level break, you'll be doing sweat probably. So maybe the few months after sweat, you can try and see if you can get a remote internship. So if you can get a remote internship for that, that's awesome. But if you cannot, you can get physical ones too. But when it comes to like IT, SIWES, where you have to fill logbooks, I'd advise that a computer engineering student to go for a physical internship. So back to the question on how do you preach or sell the idea of LinkedIn to a fellow young person? Why LinkedIn? Oh my goodness. That's a very interesting question. I cannot count. I think I've lost count of the number of people that I have evangelized LinkedIn to in this life. But I can count the number of people who have actually started taking LinkedIn seriously. And it's just the generation in which we have found ourselves. And to be honest, if you go on LinkedIn, you see plenty young people that are doing awesome things. I think like I said earlier, right? People that are posting on LinkedIn are not posting on LinkedIn for fun. It's not because they don't have things to do. If you can get people to see that there is life after university, there is life beyond now, and LinkedIn offers you a platform to start building something for yourself before you get out of university. I think that's probably one of the ways to put it that would make people understand. But then sometimes I feel like people's eyes just don't see. Like they say you can force a horse to the river, but you cannot force it to drink water. I think it's absurd sometimes, right? So people are not just able to see what's really going on with the app. But I think I don't know. I don't know. Yes, you're investing in your future. It's good to invest in your future. Please use LinkedIn to invest in your future. It says question says that what else is just the all right. So the question sticks to what else can you benefit from LinkedIn apart from career position? Ah, I'm thinking of the English that I used to face it. So like I said earlier, right? We are building yeah, I mentioned about personal brand. And you as yourself, you are a very dynamic entity, a very dynamic human being. And what you are able to achieve goes beyond just carrying a 9 to 5 and working on a job. Like what you are building for posterity. You are building for legacy. I used to tell people that financial influence as financial worth. If someone can influence 1,000 people, influence 10,000 people to make a decision, or to think in a certain way. That's financial rewards. So if you're able to build a brand for yourself for instance, it begins to open doors, give you access to opportunities, and that whatsoever you might choose whatsoever you might choose to do outside of job in the later part of your life, whatsoever you have built on LinkedIn, like if you build a platform for yourself on LinkedIn, you build a voice for yourself on LinkedIn, it remains a weapon in your arsenal that you can pull out. See, let me give you guys an example. I remember there's a man called Oladoto Ajayi. There's a man called Oladoto Ajayi, and he was applying for an opportunity in one country, I think Sweden or Switzerland, blah 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 blah, and they rejected his visa. I think this guy has quite a following on LinkedIn. And all he did was to post on LinkedIn. He tagged the ambassador, he tagged the embassy, he tagged the number of people, and people reposted. I can't count the number of reposts, it must be showing over 100 reposts. Guys, I just saw testimonial. You later accepted his visa. You gave him visa back. So that's just an example. Like aside from getting a job, aside from career opportunities, when you build a platform for yourself, when you build a voice for yourself, when you build a brand for yourself, it becomes a weapon that you can wield to achieve goals for yourself in the future. Yes, so I see a question about doing IT this summer and organizations where if the organizations people doing their IT, uh, maybe I should take it this way. I'm going to be doing my IT this summer. I wanted to ask if there are organizations where people do their IT and get paid. Yes, of course, there are. You have to people through LinkedIn. Yes, you can ask about the compensation if there's compensation. But if it's IT you are doing, it's not just internship. But I think you should there are I've heard of there are organizations where people get paid. I don't have their names off the top of my head right now. But yes, there are organizations where people get paid. I don't know if that answers your question. Please let me know if it does or if it doesn't. So there's a question that says, how do you post about events you've attended or anything when the media people that covered the events? Sorry, are you saying something? Sorry, you don't, someone just unmute me. I'm like, can't listen to everybody. People, please, you can mute your mic. I see your hand is up. People, can you hear me? Oh, all right. Which is asking in the chat that what department and what level. Please, you can put your department and your level in the chat. If you can see anybody who has IT opportunities for you. I am
Can you
also,
hear me?
yes, I can hear you
Hello?
So what did you say? Hello? Okay, I'll just go ahead speaking. Right. You can put your department and your level in the chat. I am privy to a channel or an opportunity. There's this thing even called live internships and job boards. I'll see if I can get well, just for now students. So people, please maybe you can DM me. You can DM me. I'll see if I can. There's also something called the career service department in Nile University. So they can help to get internships and similar things. That's why they exist. That's not the only thing you do, but like that's just one of the things they can help you do. So you can send me a DM and like Richie said in the chat, please drop your department and your level to get to see if there might be people here who can get an internship for you. Okay, the question about pictures. Hmm. Ah, that's interesting. What I'll say perhaps is maybe you should take your own pictures with your phone when you can't, right? And the little that you can do, maybe without the pictures, you can still make the post without the pictures. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that the media people do not release the pictures. Does anybody have any other questions? Please, I'll be sending the feedback form shortly after now. I would beg us, implore us to please fill up the feedback form. Do you have any questions? Any questions from anybody before we call it a day? Alright, I just need the floor open till 10 minutes past 10, and then we'll close the meeting. All right. So I'll be sharing the group chat, the feedback form link with us in just 1 minute's time. This is 10:11. Making it this evening. Do you have any questions? Oh my, I'm just seeing this question. What do you think about using LinkedIn as a digital logbook? Like turning in daily activities on LinkedIn. Is that too much? Sincerely, I don't think it's not. Like you can even make it a challenge, right? That every day you would give like a brief overview of what you achieved at work that day. And I think, oh, I didn't even mention it in my slides, right? Aside from the work that you currently do within the internship, right? Because you are working in the industry now, you'll be interacting with some industrial terms, like your scope will be broadened beyond what you knew when you were in class. So you can be writing like write-ups, short takes, opinions, perspectives on what you are learning and how you are processing those things you're interacting with. Maybe you are working in oil and gas. Okay, you can explain, oh, how this Iran war is now affecting the prices of oil and what people in Nigeria, oil producers, the people that have oil wells, how it's affecting the market, etc., etc. So you can also add that as part of content to post on LinkedIn. I had like a framework for content ideas for LinkedIn posts, but we don't have it here actually. This was not supposed to be a LinkedIn session of some sort. But if you have any questions about how to post on LinkedIn, please feel free to reach out to me in my DM, or you can ask your question in the group chat. I would I would gladly respond to it. So you'll be finding to help that answers the question. I hope it does. Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. So it's a challenge. If it's not going to be too hectic for you, and you can use your daily activities as LinkedIn post, please go ahead and do it. I trust you are capable of doing that, and it's not going to be too much. All right, guys, let's have a good night rest. Please, 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 I'm begging you, please fill the feedback form. Please fill the feedback form. I just sent it to the group chat now. Please, like as we're just leaving the session, please let's just try and fill up the feedback form. We really, really need your feedback so we can improve on future sessions. Thank you very much. Have a good night rest. Please feel free to share me your virtual and what's the word? Virtual claps. Thank you very much. Bye bye. I think I end the recording now.